Hello everybody, welcome to the stream of Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. So, yeah, I'm gonna guess that's the last thing that, people expected me to stream, but I am very much a fan of this series, and right now we're gonna play a game of said series that I like, that I know a lot of people don't really like, but it has its fair share of defenders, and finally, I'd say that the overall fan opinion on this game has kind of softened up a bit over the years. I'd say more people are finally warming up to it after years of just saying, it's not like the trilogy. It's like, I'd say it's definitely not as good as the trilogy, but it still has a lot of really nice things going on for it, so it's about time that we check out what these nice things got. Oh no, I did not read all of the dialogue the last time that I did an impromptu Phoenix Wright stream. Like, I will only read the text, if I really had nothing else to do. So alright, first episode, Turnabout Trump. No, not that Trump, the cards. Yeah, the Nintendo DS could render videos. Let's use this ability of the console. Yeah, time for a new character. We are Apollo Justice, and it's our first trial. We're nervous. And our boss kinda looks like a dork. Hey, it looks like you're really fucked up right now, my dear colleague. I'm really happy about this. That screeching noise, is that your voice? So wait, if Apollo speeches by screeching, does that just mean that he's just like... Yeah, your first trial and it's an homicide, just like a certain who know who. Yeah, I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech, yep. That's why you don't go and yell at 5 a.m. It's like his neighbors must love him. It's 5 a.m. I'm fine! All over that drip. I dined with him the night of the murder. Ooh, personal connections, the best kind of lawyer defense. So far, what do we know about Apollo Justice? He's fine. He definitely is fine. Yeah, it's like, I agree. Don't say you're fine that often. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Oh yeah, not that I'm worried. Yeah, you're absolutely not worried. Right, there's no way he did it. Okay, so do we know the defendant? Whoa, a hobo! Alright, it's all up to you today. Yeah, meeting him, cardiac arrest, but who exactly is that? Oh, I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? Oh, so, you're... I'm fine! Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? Yeah, at this point we should have called ourselves Mr. Fine. It's just like, I'm really glad that this is totally how our relationship between attorney and client began. Mr. Gavin's a top-notch attorney. Is your friend, so what? You'll see. Like, I'm sorry you got accused of murder. Yep. Alright, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. And hey, new courtroom. Yeah, court is now in session. Okay, for the trial of... It's like, even up to this point, they're still making the suspense linger. It's like, what the heck? Alright, prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is fine. Yep. Yeah, that judge is immortal. Like, I'm sorry, but he's a law elemental. I'm fine, really. Oh, your voice sounds a bit strained. I was under the impression that you will be heading up this case. Yep, that was my intention. Yeah, the defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Yeah, of course he wants justice! I trust this case to this greenhorn. Why? Like, come on, don't act as if this is the first new judge, new attorney that you've met. It's like, oh, does he have cords of steel? Alright, finally, we're gonna finally know who our mystery defendant is. I mean, I don't think it's a mystery to about anybody, but hey, just in case. Yep, long time no see, Mr. Wright. Yep, Phoenix Wright, now a hobo. Yeah, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Alright. Do you want to play us a piano tune, Nick? Alright. Alright, I won't speak it further then. If the prosecution will be so kind as to explain the charges. Oh, do you think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney and now I'll see you leave in train? That's not the case. Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. I know, Winston Payne was never subtle. He was just there. Alright. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim a customer and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. Like, is that part of being a prosecutor, to just make noises during your opening statement? pianist for the club, it seems. Yep, he's a pianist. A bottle of grape juice. And yeah, fun fact, before then I was wondering if this was like censorship or not, but no, grape juice does come in bottle like this. Alright, deadly bottle as evidence. Right, something to note, all evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Alright, use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. Alright, it's time for some hand-on action. I mean, why not? Let's go and check out our evidence. Yep, there we go. Good old attorney badge. Always show it in front of everybody. Alright, anyway, goodbye, Pixella. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, the autopsy report. Death around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a blow to the forehead. Yeah, cerebral hemorrhaging resulting from blunt trauma. Okay, that sounds pleasant. And yeah, a dead guy. And yeah, the deadly bottle. Alright, now how deadly is it? Yeah, deadly grape. Yeah, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Wonder how it goes with borscht. So yeah, it's I mean, the first Ace Attorney was the first game to have like access to all of these fancy buttons in order to check out the evidence. But of course, the final case of Ace Attorney 1 The final case of Ace Attorney 1 was made after all of the trilogy ended up being wrapped up, so yeah, it is the first game to be designed from the ground up with all of these new mechanics in mind. Alright, bottle is completely empty. Alright, that's about it for all of the checking up of stuff, except of course for profiles. And yeah, in order to make things less complicated, in this game you can no longer present profiles as evidence in the trial. Now, it's only the items. Oh, the prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. Like, even the beginning attorney thinks, okay, this guy kinda sucks. Personally, I'm a huge fan of grape soda. Yeah, what was this Shadi Smith fellow? I mean, he's shady. A traveler. Out of the country for several years, only returned recently. I want the purple stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. I think the game might be just a little wee bit too loud. Hold on a second. Okay, that should be better now. Alright, they first met on the night of the crime, and yet murder. The motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. He's not piano playing. I'll let that photo explain what I mean. I mean, on this picture, the guy doesn't even look dead. He just looks like he's taking a nap. A game of poker. Wait a minute! Poker? What the fuck? It appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Objection! It was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. Oh, the test of with the silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their back rated in blue flame, know its final outcome. The fuck? The defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. Alright, if you were impressed, raise your hand. What? How come nobody's raising their hand? Alright, defendant. Will testify about the poker competition. Right, the competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attraction. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. And then they die. A pianist who can play piano. Better than an attorney who can't defend. Very well, defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, don't blow it! You're sweating bullets. Bullets, where? Figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. Maybe you should not practice your voice at 5 a.m. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. Alright, care for a refresher? Nope, I've played the first 3 games, so I know how to cross-examine. Yep, think I've got this one covered? Think you'd better do more than think. You know it or you do not. My cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons present, and summon the cops. Alright, find any inconsistencies, lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it. Do it. Love it. Okay, he doesn't say that, but he might as well just be. Oh god, yeah, now my microphone is picking up the cops. So, alright. Now, where could he have been lying in this one? Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta check out something. Is the microphone on? Wait. Ah, okay. Hold it! I don't think it worked. Whoops. Can hardly play. Well, I play sometime when customers demand it. So I play them one song. And that's the song I play. It's usually all they want. Thank you, Tofia. Is that supposed to be a boast? Hey, I'm Phoenix Wright. Here's my song. Yep, there we go. That's my song. Goodbye. Alright, my real job is to take on the interested customers over at the poker table. Yeah, a professional poker player / pianist. I detect pride in that statement. Just hard for honest hard work. I know you're not a hard worker. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? Yep, congratulations, Prosecutor Payne. You're being showed by a hobo. Alright, I've never lost once. Wow. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Okay, yeah. Don't remember Phoenix ever being that cocky. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost. Is that even possible? the crime scene follows an attraction. Yeah, you go in it and you die. Oh, used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Oh, all in the past. Things like the black market or only on the silver. It's like that series was supposed to take place in the future, and somehow it's so not topical. Suffice it to say, there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. Safe from the eye of the law, except if they look through that window, that is. You know, while a groom keeps watch through the small window, you can practically picture it now. Even then, like, I don't know, a window like this, I don't think you'd see much. The room had a few other tricks, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. He placed poker in a room steeped in history. It's good, clean fun until somebody dies. And 2 decks of cards. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to cards on the table, there's some on the floor. Cards on the table, cards on the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Because you see a crime scene painted blue in a place full of blood. Oh, one deck of cards was red and the other blue. Okay, so there's not only blue cards. Oh. Yes, a game of hands. Oh, this competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. Yeah, it was a simple game. Are you sure? Not anymore. People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. You were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Oh yeah, now goldfish is also illegal. Yet you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. Yep. Alright, there's something I'd like made clear, namely your connection to the case. Alright, why not? Just one little press, not by you, but hey. Alright, we've got a brand new testimony. Alright, I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched a murder weapon. Silence? Yeah, the defendant has a right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. It clearly puts you at a disadvantage. It's your job to turn that around in our favor. I will not tell you anything, but I want you to defend me. Yeah, didn't you detect anything odd about the testimony? Yeah, the 5th Japanese Amendment. So yeah, something he said did ring a little strangely. Alright, one thing, when you figure it out, present evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. Yeah, contradiction? But why? Alright, better check the court record, so yeah. What exactly contradicts the thing about him pleading silence concerning the crime and say he never touched a murder weapon? Yeah, bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Yeah, it's a walking contradiction. Oh, I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Oh, isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusion? It's your first cross-examination. Take it slow. Alright, if you need more information, don't forget to press. Yep, we've done it. Alright, I will say I never touched a murder weapon. Objection! Alright, you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, right? So I said. Yeah, something the matter? Oh. Hee. You better, new defense attorney, never learn how to play dumb. I mean, I'm just stating the facts, man. You didn't touch a bottle, I gotta point it out. So yeah, I examined the bottle, it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Yep. Our first objection went really well. Yeah, excess yelling can damage the judge here, and our case. What about my cords of steel? Alright, anyway. Yeah, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle? They wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Yeah, they're abnormal. Yeah, the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Alright, he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be a reason for that. No, they're not ball prints. You have to brain someone with the bottle. Olga! Yeah, Mr. Gavin, I think things took a turn for the worse. Huh? I see no problem. Yeah, the only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Can you explain your fingerprints on the bottle to the court? No. Yeah, not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. Oh, he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Oh, you seem to have forgotten something. On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Yeah, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still, that means he's guilty! Like, if you report your own crime, that absolutely means that you're a bad person. Yeah, murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Yeah, it's a self-report. Alright, let's take a look at the diagram. I'd say that's my favorite addition to this game. The diagrams with, like, the more lifelike figures in them. Yeah, cell phones can get reception so far down, so the defendant used the stairs in the hallway to go above ground. Call came from the first floor. Yeah, we're still pretty early in the game. So you haven't missed a whole lot yet. Yeah, you haven't missed a whole lot yet. We've been playing for half an hour. Yeah, the defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative. Ugh. Alright, nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this. Oh, I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Oh, toyed, I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you just said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. How can you possibly know that? Alright, how indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. Yee! You're as good as they say you are. Alright, someone else was in the room the night of the crime. Alright, everything up until now has been a warm-up. Are you ready? Alright, now it's time for the real first witness. I mean, I don't know, I'd say Winston Payne probably will sound like Jeff George. Alright, name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I only see a pot here because I'm blind. I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. Yep, crime against hair. Oh, have no fears, if any horns point in your direction, this court will cut him off. Like, stop being racist against my hair. Yep, I swear out on my gavel, please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Like, at least we're standing for ourselves. Alright, the prosecution... Yeah, wait a minute! No, what kind of court system is this? You're not allowed to bring a camera into court! Will the prosecution care to explain the witness, paraphernalia? Yes. She's a professional. Those are barely the tools of her trade. Yep, if I go to court with a camera, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm going with the camera because I'm a professional, and these are the tool of my trade. And that will be? Yeah, my name is Olga Orly. I am employed as waitress in Bosch Bowl Club Restaurant. And why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve Bosch Daddy's naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it said, other service. Take it, one of these other services is taking the customer's picture. Like for example, this one. I mean, this game came out in what, 2006, 2007? Yep. The defendant on the night of the murder. Yeah, man in white hat is the one who was gone kaput. Yeah, that is the victim. But I will swear it, this will all be explained in due time. There's a reason why the person has a bad Russian accent. But yeah, it's quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into her laps. It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually. And the court will casually accept this new evidence. Oh yeah, that's right, I didn't even check out the cell phone. Alright, before we go any further... Alright. Whoops. Alright. This is the phone of Phoenix Wright. Yep. There we go, that shows how careful he is with his belonging. Batteries are held in with a piece of tape. She'll just buy a new one, maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. Yeah, I was in the room, the hideout, we call it. Yeah, the hideout. This room where famous gangster, oh, fuck off. Yep, the famous gangster, bad guy. Ha 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 ha! Is where murder took place. Yep, you look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post back courtroom door later for you. Da, photos will be numbered and you will write which one you want copy of. Alright, 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. Victim, Shadi Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Horley, her witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Yeah, I mean, for people who know how this game works, the Hurley suggestion will be Olga Horley gonna be the killer. Alright, fateful night. Oh, fateful night. At night, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, duh. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, huh? That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Oh yeah, who won the game? I mean, that's a good question. Yeah. Isn't it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith? Alright, that's ridiculous! Because Mr. Wright can lose! Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. Oh, he hasn't lost in 7 years! Take it from me, kid. It happened. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Okay, what did you prosecute against? A dead turtle? Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Uh-oh. Alright, the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? Chips. Duh! I mean, yes! Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army and the chips are the spoils. Oh, I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. Yeah, he means poker face. Poker face. Right, most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Alright, defense may now cross-examine. Like in one cross-examination, we somehow got 2 new pieces of evidence. Alright, that night customer asked me to deal a card for a game. Alright, you do this often. I'm doing this. Customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. And photos, it is my work. Yeah, I don't know, I tried it earlier and it didn't work. Maybe I'd have to check out my Desmume settings in order to make sure that the microphone is okay. Alright, hold on a second. Let me go in the microphone settings. I mean, I put in microphone use connected physical microphone, not suitable for tasks. Like, it should be okay, so I'm not sure why it's not working. Like, let's try again. Hold it! Okay, no, it works. It takes some times. And yeah, by the way, you don't have to yell hold it. You can just yell anything. As long as it's noise, it works. Yeah, outside is a city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. Yeah, no, I'm going there. Alright, the victim, he plays whole time with his hands and locket as... Jeff George! I believe it was good luck charmed. Gripped it many times as he played that night. Must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. Defense will like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, not a rocket. Of course, I knew that! It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. No, Judge, stop it, please. Yeah, locket's a locket! Yeah, it's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? Something terrible has happened. Okay, alright. My nutsack! Something terrible! Eek! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. I'm sorry, I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Alright, can you tell us what happened? I was so frightened, I trembled with fear. Alright, that man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Ow! The best argument in the book. The defendant will never do that. Ah! Oh, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. Yeah. Hold it! No, you! Yeah, possible. Please, refrain from embarrassing me. It is because defendant has lost game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Alright, leave it to me. There are only 3 people in the room. The victim, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, Orly. Oh yeah, what is the contradiction this time? Yeah, the man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Like, no, the person died because of a bottle blow to the head, so alright. Fuck you! Objection! Yeah, normal customers only choke on borscht. Yeah, the report Oh, thank you, Witchy Life Gaming, for the raid. Thank you very much. Yeah, did you witness a crime? Yeah, with that said, here we go. She is indeed a professional. It's like that lobster is not going anywhere. Yeah, looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. Still wearing his hat and everything. Oh, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Alright, here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Yep, we just started, and now we've already devolved to the point where we're just yelling obscenities in our Nintendo DS in order to advance things. I've seen it happen. Yeah, the defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Oh, I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. Yeah. What do you mean? I found a contradiction! Yeah, there's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. But yeah, something that Apollo Justice likes is... Typically, most testimonies in it require you to press and present several statements in order to get through. Oh, yeah, there's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. So yeah, now we got a photo of the man clothes, and now this will allow us to get another contradiction. The man plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. So yeah, let's check out the photo. Okay, where do you see a locket in this picture? Your borscht sucks!
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in her testimony. What does it mean? Yep, I just like that. We're objectioning and we don't even have our objection ready. Just like, objection! Okay, this is wrong, but what's the meaning of this? Alright, the victim played with his hand on locket at his neck. Oh, I hope you're not about to raise an objection to the witness grammar. Duh, I mean, no. Yeah, well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. Yeah, what does it mean? Yeah, the locket disappeared following the victim's death. I mean, lockets disappear if they're rockets, then they just rise to the stars. There we go, we're thinking in judge logic. Yeah, the defendant was not strangling the victim, was taking off his locket. Oh yeah, niet. Alright. Look! Yeah, that's Payne's catchphrase. Look! What do you have to say to this? Oh, I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Yeah, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Oh ho 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 ho! Okay, that was not quite right, but hey, I put my heart in those 3 notes. Yeah, come again! Yeah, you have a daughter? Like, yeah, what happened here? It's like, no, we sure did not have any plans of having a daughter by the end of the 3rd game. Yeah, the picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. Oh, why don't I buy this is just a coincidence? Alright, if the result of the poker game led to murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. Oh, it's clear the defendant lost badly. I mean, there's more chips on the other side for sure. And they're all bigger. Alright, Miss Orley, you will testify about the game played between the victim and defendant. Duh. Wait, my audio your audio bleeps out for a second. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's a problem with Twitch, hopefully. Alright, the game began with 3,500 point in chips for each man. House chip come in 2 sizes, small and large. The one was victim. Duh, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. Alright, moment loss was decided. Defendant grabbed bottle from table and... Yeah, this seemed to be a one-sided game. Yeah, poker was the defendant's life. Oh, failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Oh, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of rage, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. Common tale, but true. Oh, too many old court movies. Oh yeah, Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so the testimony must be wrong. I mean, hey, at the very least, there's one thing that Apollo Justice has in common with Phoenix Wright. Blind faith. Alright. Oh yeah, that's right. Nah, I'm just gonna keep yelling for objections in the future. It's fun pressing with dumbass things, but hey, let's keep the dumb for whenever it matters. Alright, if each man began with 3,500 points, the total will be exactly 7,000 points. Yeah, it's not even long division. Alright, small and large. Okay, all of the chips. That of course! Oh, something's fishy with these chips. Fish and chips. Alright, press harder. Alright, can you explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and Nah, fuck off, Payne. I did this joke earlier that was not even a good joke. Alright, what are these chips worth? Are they in dollars? Or rubles even? Like, no. Are we sure this was made in the 2000s and not 80s or 90s? Alright, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chip, 100 points and 1,000. It's not money, that. Oh. Okay, don't you find our comment interesting? Oh, I'd have it added to our testimony myself. I mean, why not? Any bit of info that we can get is good. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Alright, one kind of chip is worth 100, and other kind is worth 1,000. So now, we gotta check out things. It's like the total is 7,000 points. Okay, so let's take it that the big chips are worth 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I just counted the big chips and we're already up to 10,000. Like, no, it's impossible. So if we take it the other way now, 1,000. If the tiny ones are 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 1,000, 6,000. And finally, oh yeah, the bottle is worth 10,000. And yeah, there is 10 big chips. They are the ones that are worth 100 points because, yeah, this way then it will mean, yeah, Wright has 4,100 points and Smith has 2,900. Like, hold on. Alright, the one who was winning, it was victim. Nope. Oh fuck, I forgot to objectionate. I can count! Oh, it seems our new attorney's a bit confused. Yeah, a glance at the picture is enough to tell you one, if you're not in kindergarten. Alright, could you explain the problem? Oh yeah, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh! Like, it's good to see that the prosecution doesn't even bother doing its homework. Yeah, the totals? Yeah, let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points. Combined total value was 7,000. Yeah, if my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the... they are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. Yeah, the big chips are worth 1,000, the small are worth 100. Yeah, how much is it? Like, it's you who didn't want to count the actual value of the chips, motherfucker. Yeah, do it yourself, you weren't in kindergarten. Yeah, 10,600 points. Yeah, clearly contradicts the witness testimony. Yeah, but why? How could this be? Okay, now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Yeah, only one way to explain. Were the starting points wrong? Is the chip count was wrong? Or both of these affirmations here are correct and it's something else? Alright, what do you think is the problem here? Oh, that's right, we've already established it. So yeah, both were right. Yeah, each round begins with 350 points. If all the chips are shown in the photograph, there can only be one answer. Yep, the value of the chips was the other way around. Yep, somehow the tiny chips are worth all the points. Madness! Utter madness! Yeah, that makes 7,000 points when you add them up. Yeah, excellent work. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Oh, I'm just glad that I was the one who said it. But wait! Value of the chip may be different, but that changes... no, everything changes, you dumb guy. Like, yeah, the victim had the more chips, but hey... Doesn't matter if all of the chips that he have are the ones that are worth nothing. Yeah, let's do a little math. Add up the point for each side. Ugh! Yeah, the victim, Mr. Smith, had one... Yep, there we go. Exactly what we just said. I think that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. Yeah, that's impossible! Yeah, my client had even less reason to kill the victim. Yeah, after all, he was winning! Yeah, there we go. We can totally blow their hair in the wind like we don't care. Yeah, like that's a very good point. Like the witness must have known what the chips were worth. And somehow they chose to not say anything. Yeah, it appears our defendant has lost his motive. And Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Oh, can we trust the testimony of the witness? Not if she has something else to say. I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, yeah, see what? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. Alright, a cheat. Oh, you don't mean a trick. Wait, or do you mean a scam? Yeah, they're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheating last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. Yeah, first with lying, now cheating. Wait, that was the soundtrack was composed by the guy who did Mega Man X4. Alright, this trial is taking a turn for the interesting. Alright, testify to the court. Tell us about the cheating. Oh, the final hand. It's the final hand! The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hand, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game become argument. The defendant trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Yeah, Miss Orley! Why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? Yep, I thought I smelled the cover up here. Alright, time to throw back the cover. Yeah, a full house is a very high scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. Oh, that alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Oh, Mr. Gavin, what's a full house? Oh, lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? Oh, I can't say this bodes well for your case or career. It's like, give me a fucking break. What if someone doesn't know how poker is played? Like, I don't know, if you go on a trial for blackjack, like, and you ask what it is, you wouldn't go and say, oh, I think you're a fucking dumbass. Yeah, what is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Alright, just this. Yeah, you know the term, 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, right? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Yeah, that doesn't sound very easy to make. You see each player's hand in the photo. Yeah, 3 kings and 2 aces for Mr. Smith, 3 sevens and 2 aces. Wait, cheating? What? Wait, where's the cheating? Like, hold on a second here. Yeah, if he did cheat in the last hand, that leaves one important question. He lost that hand. Yeah, who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Wait, was there a card at the edge of the table? I didn't even notice. Like, hold on, let's see. Oh no, that's not a card at the side, that's the rest of the deck. Like, there's no other cards. Alright, both men had full house. Okay, I think we don't need to press on all of this. 4 in each card, from ace to king. Alright. Like, we know for sure that this statement is problematic. How does poker work, bitch? Okay. But yeah, how was it clear? Yeah, I'm not seeing any cheating. Defendant. Yep, I'm Freddy now. Oh, he played a 5th ace. Again, I didn't see a 5th ace in the picture. I still remember both hands very well. Yeah, Mr. He didn't have 3 aces, he only had 2! Yeah, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps, like... It's like, no, that part doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell? Oh, perhaps can this be headed without Mr. Payne's joke? Yeah, the witness will add this detail to her testimony. Alright, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith handed 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2.
Objection!
I can count, bitch! It appears the witness is mistaken. Yeah, that will, if anything, that will mean that Smith is the one who cheated because he won. Like, again, if Wright was the one who cheated and you would have lost, no, your cover-up is bad.
It looks like you're a mess.
Please, thank you, don't feel for this something. Alright, we shall explain our point in a way that the judge can comprehend.
Yeah.
Alright, use your finger to point out your point. Alright. What particular point contradicts the witness testimony? So yeah, of course, it's the fact that there's no 3 aces. Sadly, we cannot yell in order to present. It's only for pressing and objectioning. Alright, Mr. Smith handed 3 aces. Yeah, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Eek! Oh, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant himself. No, fuck off. Yeah, take another look at the evidence. I know, Payne, you're asleep at the prosecution's bench. Like, again, I need to know, how did Winston Payne win trials for 7 straight years without losing? If this is how it is, okay, he's fucking old now, but he's bad. He's really bad. Yeah, 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hey, good job, Judge, you can count. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please! It is true, I've seen it, the 5th ace! There was cheating, I swear to you! Oh, that's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. Okay, so somehow there really were 5 aces. Right, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead. Alright, I have a suggestion. Yeah, but in this trial, like, if all went according to plan initially, we'll have went against Kristoph Gavin, who is known like as one of the best defense attorneys around right now, so I'd say he will have chosen his trial really poorly. Alright, perhaps we may examine the actual cards. Alright, Mr. Payne. Ugh, yes! Right, players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? Defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Alright. Alright, what do we examine? The victim's card or the defendant's? Alright, which hand is more suspicious? I mean, it should be obvious as to which one is more suspicious. It's the one that changed between the testimony. Alright, defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's card. Alright, Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Alright, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. And yeah, by the way, this is all automated. This is your tutorial of examining shit. Alright, when examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Right, okay, let's do this. Okay, so now, yeah, we can zoom in if we want to. I mean, it's not really revealing anything, but, why is this card blue? Yep, one of the victim's cards. Yeah, the back is a different color! Yeah, that's impossible! But I put that in Wright's hand! Ack! What was that, Miss Orley? No, yet, I merely said, eek! Your Honor? Alright, tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer! Aha! So you mean this witness, Miss Orley? She's a cheater. Professional, I'd wag her. Yeah! Order! Order! Alright, time to take advantage of her mistake. Okay, thank you for clarifying that point. Alright, Your Honor. Please recall the testimony we just heard. Yeah, that's impossible! But okay, we just saw that like a minute ago. Yeah, Miss Olga Horley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shadi Smith! Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly! Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean... The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Horley, of... Are you? Alright, time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the site of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... Yep, I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Horley, of murder! Eek! Okay, that was surprisingly easy. Alright, where's your witness? It appears that she has lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice. Alright, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means... This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it! I held out! Okay, the first trial, which actually might go for more than a day. It looks like the trial is gonna go for an end for the time being.
Objection!
Yeah, Mr. Wright. Yep, can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Oh, think, one of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? Yep. What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Yeah, Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous! Perhaps we shall get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. Oh, that was said before! Shut up, Payne. The 2 decks at the club had different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Yeah, why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. Oh, you use different colors and they still got mixed up. Alright, we used the red deck for the last game. Yeah, that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression you were using the blue cards. Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the trial, we indeed thought that the blue cards were being used. Yeah, sure someone said something about blue cards. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yeah, a card slipped into the deck will seem to indicate cheating, yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Alright, let's consider the first question, shall we? Alright, in the last game, when was the card swapped? Alright, there are 3 broad possibilities. Swap before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? Might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. Like, what are these noises that come from Payne? I mean, he might just be like his namesake, in pain. Alright, we might as well let the people in the chat play detective. When will the card be swapped into the deck? Before, during, or after the murder? At this point, I'm just going to go for the very first answer that I see in the chat. Doesn't matter. Okay, before the murder, alright. Must have happened before the murder. You mean during the game? I wonder. Huh? What? Think, when you're playing poker, Which side of the card face your opponent? Whoops, yep, the back. Not something the poker head of courtroom number 3 will be likely to miss. Sorry, let me think about this some more. Yep. So, is it during the murder or after the murder? Alright, after. Perhaps it happened after the murder? Yeah. What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the ends have been shown? That's silly.
Objection!
Yeah, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Oh, take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Yeah, excellent argument, Payne. Yeah, even when the backs of the card are a different color. If you pull that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Yeah, quite true. That will mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. Yeah, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who will do that? Oh, alright, one of the mysteries before us. Alright, simple yet decisive question. Who swapped a red card for a blue card? Alright, the game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga. Okay, so who swapped a red card for a blue? Is it Phoenix Wright, Olga, or somebody else? Again, I will select whatever option has come up first, since there's no penalty or anything. Okay, somebody else. Alright, the one who swapped the card wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. Well, doesn't seem like it could have been Olga either. Yeah, that's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yeah, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? Like, I just can't believe she will make the mistake of swapping the wrong color. Yeah, and if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all of this is. Like, no, Phoenix, you have a weird definition of fun. Hey, if the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it? Yeah, well, that's the question, isn't it? Precisely. I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. I mean, he should be used to being tried for murder. That's literally his 3rd time. Alright, we'll find that indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim hand. And that someone made 2 critical mistakes. Sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card? Because the one who did the swap didn't know 2 colors of card were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Yeah, replace the 5th ace with a king. Yeah, sure, whoever swapped it wasn't expecting that. Wait. How they couldn't expect it to be 5 aces if the two hands were showing? Yeah, all they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. There's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. Yep, there was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. So there is indeed a fourth person. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. Alright, this trial is proceeded on one central assumption. Namely that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. Yep, I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption? The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that's a problem. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like Phoenix is such a dickhead in this game. It's like he was so enthusiastic, go happy, and now he's gone full mystery mode. Alright, trial will resume in 20 minutes. But yeah, there's not gonna be 2 days of trial. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you will know the answer to that. Like, no, please stop being mysterious. Yep, sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. Oh, I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice. Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. So everybody's drinking grape juice. And unless there's alcohol in it, yeah. You did well, Apollo. Yeah, can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can have a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in here. Surprised you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. Alright, one more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? Oh, what do you think? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? Yep, 7 years ago. So yeah, I'd say this is kind of weird, the whole perspective of things dawn on us. This game takes place 7 years after trials and tribulation. So, yeah, in 7 years, Phoenix have changed a fair bit. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. Yeah, I never, honest, but it is odd he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Oh, want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. That way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. Yeah, that witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She will touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No? Yeah, come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. Wait. Okay. I'm not worthy. There's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Right, you just don't know it yet. Yeah, what's he talking about? But you will, soon. Oh, almost forgot. One more thing, about this case. You shall know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. Like, no, you haven't told the truth while on the witness stand. Like, no, fuck off, Phoenix. I have my reason, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there defending me. I need your power. Yeah, my power. I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. Oh. Thank you, noses, duck. Yeah, Ooze is with us in the courtroom. So yeah, we've reached the second half of the case. Might be a good time to actually just take a quick break. I need a water bottle break just in order to make sure that I'm not gonna dehydrate on the spot. Court will now reconvene. Sadly, this game unfortunately has a fair amount of translation errors. So, yep, the court will now reconvene. Alright, has our witness, Olga Horley, recovered? Oh, yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Oh, perhaps we can hear her version of the events again? Oh, that's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. Oh, you're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Oh, sadly, fatigue is insufficient ground for refusing to testify or prosecute. Yeah, that's gonna be the next prosecutor for the 6th game, a sleepy prosecutor. He just tries to finish the trials as fast as possible just to take a nap. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Oh, or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor... Jeez, Kristoff, what the fuck? Yeah, not. Yeah. Name's Olga Horley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers Horley. Oh really? Oh, want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Alright, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Oh, fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Oh, let me remind you that you're currently under oath. Any further No, I'm sorry. So far in the universe of this game, no person have ever faced any kind of repercussions for lying on the stand. If it was the case, every single person who went to testify will be behind bars. Fine. Right, like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. You were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith will call him out and search Wright. He will then pull out the planted card and the trap will snap shut. You swapped the cards! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it would have made for a great double play. Just like that, the legend will be dashed to pieces. Yeah, being caught red-handed at cheating will cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Horley, how droll. It appears you made quite the mistake. I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to beat a slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers Orly. Oh really? No, stop it, Judge, please. The witness will be much cuter if she dispense with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. I'm packing a man and a half. Guns are for wusses. Alright, when you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. Alright, best laid traps. Right. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to, and Smith searched it. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Wasn't me who hit Smith? Was that no good cheating defense? Wait, but we didn't cheat. Or Phoenix didn't cheat. Yeah, surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Like, yeah, that's right. You can't call your opponent a cheater when you're the one cheating in order to make him lose. Yeah, with witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Alright, it's time to be the good old patented attempt at pressing everything. Yeah, the trump card, the 5 of hearts. Again, Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the haste to make a full house. Please, that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. And slipped it before the match while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. The card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. And Wright lost the last hand like he was supposed to. And Smith searched him. Yeah, 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright will be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. Or worst. I mean, if you're a poker player, if you're a cheat and a fraud, I'd say that kinda will destroy your whole reputation as a person. Alright, tell us what happened with the search. Planted card was gone, the trap failed. Yeah, card disappeared. Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, Zippo. Yeah, we search every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. Alright, card was nowhere to be found. Never in my long storied career, never has quick fingers or lean been so readily duped. Alright, what happened to the 5 of hearts? Yeah, don't look at me, why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? Okay, the card is still missing. Alright, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Yeah, this is definitely the doubtful part. Yeah, isn't that a little odd? Yeah, you searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Thank you, Fruit Salad Kung Fu, for the bits. Thank you very much. But yeah. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. Yeah, what to do? Should I press her harder? Yep, now we're feeling weird stuff. Alright, Miss Orley, you're hiding something. Oh yeah, no, not hiding anything. Yeah. Yeah, the defense will refrain from baseless accusation. Alright, I have one question for witness then. Say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I didn't see it, honest. Oh, thank you, Voice of Dog, for the raid. But yeah, we're playing Ace Attorney, and we're starting to feel warm and tingly on the inside because of our power. Yeah, that witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She will touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. No, it's not blind. I know what's incoming. But hey, welcome. Yeah, touching her neck. Well... And yeah, by the way, you're not controlling this. This part is all on its own. Yeah, what's going on? Sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch is so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Alright, perceive.
Gotcha!
Alright. Perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. What the fuck? Yeah, so what? Yeah, what indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. Yeah, when she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. Yeah, a memory. Someone care to explain what he's babbling about? Highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Alright, we have evidence of this memory. Yeah, her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. What will remind her the most of the moment of the crime? Yeah, I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit. Oh, I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Of course, it's the attorney badge. But, no. Also, come on, guys. Alright, whatever. You asked for this. Butt plug! Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? Something doesn't fit. If you are only the witness to the crime, why will that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? Oh, what's he talking about now? Yeah, it was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was it. Not you! It's a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness habit, they're completely irrelevant. Oh, Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. Yeah, now's our only chance to break her. Yeah, Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment! Oh, yet, I'm knowing nothing. Yeah, we know you're not Russian. Yeah, the witness will testify, please. Now. Bah, fine. Yeah, he's the one who did it! I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Ah, really, did you? Because remember, at one point, Wright had to leave the room in order to make a phone call to the cops. So, yeah, how about that? You're so fucking screwed!
Objection!
Yeah, Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. We know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and tripped down. Okay, I mean, made that phone call from the first floor. Ack! Yeah, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room. Oh no, that borscht is ruined. But what if I go to Krusty Borscht? Yeah. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Interesting. Dirty cheat! Check his buckets, now! It's gone! The card's gone! You lose. Ugh! Yeah, just then Smith grabbed a bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me! Some master of cheating you turn out to be! Eek! When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal what I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Yep, where does this leave us? Yep, this is madness. I'm dreaming. Must have been me who was it with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Yeah, Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of event? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. Now, come on, don't be this discriminate. Like, in the second half of this case, like, this guy becomes such a douchebag. Oh, she's fat. Oh, she's dumb. She's unreliable. Yeah, what? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. She has a motive. Motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to frame me! Oh. What tangle webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Can you stop being mysterious? Just tell us what you want, right? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Kristoph Gavin. What do you say? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of card were being used. Fourth person. Oh, this theory again. Your fourth person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. You are a real criminal! Oh, a clue to the real criminal identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Yep. Polo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Yep, sorry. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the card made one critical error. She wasn't considering the color of the back of the cards. Right, but how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear! Yeah, who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Like, this is such a stressful first trial. Even though, like, there's no stakes at all for us, it's just like, what the hell are we doing? Alright, who was it? Who thought the card used in the final game were blue? Alright, let's see if the audience is paying attention. Is it Kristoph Gavin, Phoenix Wright, the victim, Olga Horley, or the prosecutor? No, we can't pick the judge. Alright. Gavin Ichu! I choose you! Oh, fuck. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are sharp as your hair. I was right! Kristoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How will he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look! You can see the color in this photo! Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Yep, him waxing poetic somehow ended up doing something? Yeah, a silent flash of passion. Only the cards are back rated in blue flame. Why would he say that? Well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? Huh? No, nothing. Excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff. You know, even I never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity! The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I am quite sane. What possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? Yeah, it's like from here on out, like Payne is completely lost. Like he doesn't freaking know what's happening anymore. I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they had? Eh? There's a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. Oh, is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Okay, one thing to do. The defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Oh, the defense would like to request no such thing. Okay. Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? You're very wrong. Yeah, not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Yep, thank you, Judge. Like, for once, the judge is actually being helpful. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Okay. Alright, does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Alright, let's hear it. This was Mr. Wright's strategy, was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. Hate you, Justice? You will betray me, your teacher? I know, you're being too verily dramatic here. Yeah, this isn't about loyalty, it's about the truth. Alright, defendant, Mr. Wright will take the stand, please. Oh, appetite before murder. I don't know, I find this will be a kick-ass song name. Alright, that evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shadi Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? Oh, I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Oh, quite against my will, I'd become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. Yeah, the only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appeared that I was wrong. Alright, cross-examine. Justice. Sir! He's lying and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir? Yeah, Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Yep, I mean, that's a good point. Like, even Phoenix's first trial was way more normal than this ever was. Like, we're into the complete edges of insanity here. Oh. Thank you, Baron Crumbly, for the bits. Thank you very much, and welcome. Yeah, we're exposing him live on stream. Yeah, we were enjoying a usual diner at our usual spot, as usual. Usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. Yeah, where Mr. Smith was sitting. At the plate and such on your table were from your dinner. Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours and Kristoff left. After that... Alright, Shadi Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. Oh, that would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it that you said? Kristoph Gavin and Shadi Smith may have met? Believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it will be if that was all that really happened. Yeah, what are you hiding this time? Right, when the trap fails, Smith hit the waitress. Yeah, this is the same trap that Miss Olga orally mentioned. I mean, hey, at least for the game's credit, this happened quite some time ago. Yeah, now how did he escape from that? Oh, yes, a harmless prank in a sense. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yep. I snuck a peek at it and found out it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Freaking cheater! Yeah, dispose? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. Yeah, empty bottle of grape juice. Yeah, the murder weapon? Yep, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Oh, a battle of wits between the deceiver and the will-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. Yeah, a card inside the murder weapon. Like, I'm sorry, we searched that bottle and it was empty, so... Is Wright lying again? Alright, Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony. Yeah, discovered the trap during the game. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in a bottle. Alright, only one thing that we can see. Right!
Objection!
Yep, Mr. Wright, if I may. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in there. Huh? No? Oh. Surely, isn't all you have to say for yourself? Oh, I can say I know what happened to the card. I didn't put it in that bottle, however. Uh-huh. Oh, perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Yeah. Mr. Gavin! Mr. Wright is your client! My apologies, Your Honor. Yeah, I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing! Yeah, is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? Alright, please continue cross-examination. Decisive contradiction called for decisive evidence. Alright, push him harder, Justice. Break him! Just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO! Yeah, why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Okay. Alright, the girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. So if I don't get a signal down in the hideout. Anyone else? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night. In the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. Making the call, I returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Alright, the victim was already dead, yes. Oh, I was a little startled when I walked in. Oh, a little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. Guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Oh, that's when I made another phone. Oh yeah, that's right. Because, yeah, he says he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Except, if we're looking at this picture, does he look like he got killed by a hit on the forehead? No, not quite.
Objection!
Alright, Mr. Wright, if I may. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. And see if little Johnny is here. Yeah, he's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Oh, good point. Justice! Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more into it. Alright, can you explain this to the court? Oh, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you put the hat on the dead man's head. Yeah, you wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Yeah, isn't that tempering? Yeah, that's a good point. That hopefully we're gonna address fairly soon. Shining bright just like in this photograph. Oh, Jimmy at his end. Okay. And yeah, I picked his hat up on the floor and put it back on his head. Why do you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touch at the crime scene. I mean, that's already more than enough. Yeah, it being the victim is him. Yeah, I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Pardon. It just seemed that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Yeah, he's still our client, isn't he? Yeah, it's like, yeah, aren't you supposed to be a defense attorney? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin, this witness testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. Ooh! I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. Believe it was you who threw the first stone? Yeah. Mr. Wright, if you ever intend to tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie, except for all the lies you've told. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. Yeah, that reason is right here. The voices in the phone told me to do so. It's Hotline Miami all over again. That that night? Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone Shida party? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Yeah, bone Shida plate. Oh, a kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but putty. Or paint, I don't know. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Yep, something's not right about that phone call. After Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone shinapati? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of this victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's head back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright? Yep. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney's Gavin testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well, we'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear? Crystal clear, like a bottle of Pepsi, Your Honor. Alright, this will be the final recess for the day. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. I would have thought today will turn out like this. May I? What? Hello, sir. Please, pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all. You were close, Cactus, but not quite. It was the 5th ace. The missing 5th ace. And this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Just in case you didn't figure it out already. Alright, bloody eggs. God, this is his first trial, and it's been going for 4 hours, for already 4 hours, and over 4 hours and a half. Right, court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Kristoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will Mr. Witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone into this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? Yeah, the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
What are you doing here? You're the defendant! You don't belong in the defense bench! Yeah, Mr. Wright! What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Yet when Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime. Do the crime time at the crime place. In other words, you'd have to be the real killer is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Alright, begin your testimony. How were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald-headed and unconscious girl and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Yep, he's been snooping around the place. For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Yeah, may I remind you that you're on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. Oh, so you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime to that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh, Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Alright, are we prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Alright, you return to the club. Oh, that man, you mean Mr. Smith. Was different from the other customer. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but was more than that. You knew the true nature of your client's job? Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. It makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. Right, what happened? Right, peeky. The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yep, that window. A relic of the ancient past. The black marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in onto their match. Bad form, to say the least. Yep, so far everything he's saying makes sense. Yep, no contradiction yet. Must have been right after the murder took place. Oh, how do you know it was right after? Oh, really? No need to shout justice. Ugh. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is, the coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, Wright, but you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. Yeah, it's like, are these guys really friends? Like, no, I'm not buying it. Alright, the victim was dead as he appears in the photo. The second photograph, the hatless picture. Yeah, he wasn't wearing his hat. And Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Yeah, a baldhead, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? Like, yeah, somehow we're just discrediting the whole testimony from Olga. It's like, no. Somehow we're literally just discarding bits of testimony. Alright, two reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I'd seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
Oh, there must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Yeah, this mysterious fourth person. Who could conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Like, it's kind of nice to see how naive Apollo is in this first case. Like, he literally just sticks in for Wright no matter what, even though he's lied so many times. Alright, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary? Oh, how can I show something I can't find myself? Yeah, remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the fifth ace. Alright, the question of why the killer will swap out a card has been raised. Can you point out to a reason? Alright, it's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Alright, go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Oh, alright, this is actually the first choice in the game that can offer a penalty if we fail. So, alright, why did the killer take the 5th ace? I'd say the blood on the card is probably a good reason. Alright. Ace-tastic, my good man!
Take that!
My reason, this! Yeah, is that an ace? Yeah, why? It's got blood on it! Right next to the spade. Oh, what? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable! How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. We're back to the good old fish and chips. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all.
Objection!
No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence! It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud will be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for? For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime. Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell off to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his hand. Could a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. Killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible! Huh? Right, regardless on how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? Wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from this crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood will have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
This is baseless conjecture! Baseless!
Objection!
Oh, I assure you it's quite based. Yeah, by the way, I post on 4chan a lot. It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Oh, try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Alright, there we go. I'd say this is my favorite part of the game, when the crime scenes just go full 3D like this. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Alright, what is it? Alright, let's keep it simple. Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victim? The killer? The witness? The second witness? Alright, whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? Let's see if the audience actually have paid attention so far. Which of all of these four people positioning is contradictory with what we're seeing? V for Vendetta. Well, isn't it the victim position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on his head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think any blood will fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Right, take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood will fall on the floor, not on the cards. Alright, that's right. What does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Oh man. I want to sit on a swivel chair. Alright, try to turn the chair around. Alright. There we go. Interactivity. Chair was facing the other way? Alright, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim chair was facing away from the table. Alright, when Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? Alright, the body was facing as seen in this photo. Oh, the killer turned the chair back around. Alright, let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We now know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? I don't want to find contradiction. I'm Mr. Winston Payne and I'm shit. Alright, let's test your reasoning skill again. Whose location on the diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victim, the killer, the witness, second witness. So yeah, if the victim was facing away now, whose positioning will now be contradictory? Oh, two, you see. Okay, alright. Yeah, what doesn't make sense is the second witness. You mean to say I don't make sense? I mean, you kind of don't make sense so far. As I thought. Help! Mr. Justice, I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Will you be kind enough to show a court one more time what you mean? Alright. But yeah, of course, now the contradiction is on the killer side. The killer definitely will not have delivered the killing blow the way that he was if he was there. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense! Why will the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? Alright, there's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Alright, look again. So if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where will this assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. Yeah, but there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Let's think it through and see what we find. Alright, we know the victim was facing toward the wall. That's the only thing that we know for sure. Forget about everything else. So yeah, where will the killer have been standing? It's like there's only one place that is in front of the victim, and you know, it's here. The killer to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. I thought I was on something else too. I hardly need to point out that standing there will be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha! Oh, simple logic, really. This was the only place the killer could have been standing, and that means that at the very moment of the crime... Oh, I know! The moment of the crime, the cupboard was not there! Alright, let's just make shit up now until it makes sense. Alright, I have a suggestion for the defense. Shall arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Alright, bailiff, send the team to the crime scene immediately. Have them trying to move the cupboard. Ah, Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your men shall look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. Yeah, we'll talk about this later. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the scene at the time of the crime. This cupboard was not here, which means... Alright, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been shown as here. Alright, everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Oh, dang. Alright, notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Yes, the contradiction walking, I mean, it's been shoved. Alright, so what is contradicting now? The victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness. So now, what doesn't make sense anymore, based on the facts that we know and love? Yeah, it's gonna be light blue. We're taking a number 2 over this case right now. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. Yeah, the cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! Yep, that's my acting for the judge. I hope you enjoy. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin! What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness a crime scene from? Oh, excuse me, Your Honor! Order, it is a court of law and I will have order! Yeah, we just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. Right, they've examined the cupboard at the hideout, Your Honor. Right, what did they find? Well, Your Honor, turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What? Yeah, the cops did a real crap job in inspecting the crimes. I mean, that's one of the recurring theme of Ace Attorney as a series. The police is always beyond incompetent. And it's up to the lawyers to typically do all of the investigative work that the police should have done. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I don't remember him saying something about that now that he mentioned it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal going on. You never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room is a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cop and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Also, is Dick Gumshoe still in this game? It's a spoiler at this point. This is something that I have to conceal, whether it's a thing or not. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last stand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. And he said no, and that's why we killed him. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard. Holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it! Ugh! Eek! What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga Horley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He will have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. But for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the card on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Objection, Uswar was the killer. Thank you, Kizak, for the sub. Thank you very much. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, at this point, Payne just fell asleep, like he had no involvement in the trial whatsoever at this point. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. but I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary's attorney dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber will be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is clear of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence?
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes, the fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court, in this case, demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the codfish squirms to the last. Wait, does that... I don't even understand this phrase. Like, is that an error of translation, or is that an actual saying? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why will anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Oh. Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain word? Yep. Alright, we'll be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered question indeed. Alright, Mr. Justice. Alright, justice won't leave until justice is done. Okay, what evidence do we have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Like, actually, yeah, we have 10 whole evidences to take away from. Is it because of our attorney badge? Absolutely not. Like, at this point, let's just look. Yeah, the prints are upside down. Crime photo, the cell phone. Oh yeah, the photo from the Olga. Let's see. So yeah, that picture will be the how you explain everything. How exactly will you drink the bottles into the situation that this picture depicts?
Take that!
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes, now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down! Yeah, look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Oh, I can't believe it was that simple. Oh, call her dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Oh, speaking of drinking... Yeah, he also drank the bottle while gripping it upside down. He's just like me, he's a pig who drinks straight from the bottle. Basically, you use the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottle. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottle and made it look like the murder weapon. Alright, what do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Oh, fascinating! So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched a bottle? Where's your proof? Oh, proof? As I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Yeah, Your Honor. When you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Ah, yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I will be surprised if any were on that but is. Yep, definitely wouldn't do a mistake like that. Oh, say Apollo. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's a bottle? Alright, so how is this gonna solve our case? Alright, I believe we have to zoom in. Wait, what is this? Yep. There's something inside the bottle, and what is it? It's the Five of Hearts! The card that Phoenix Wright disposed before the game. Yeah, that card! It can be! Yeah, recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Horley? Yes, our little swindling Devochka. You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? Yep, the Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Kristoph Gavin. That is all. Yeah, the borscht is eternal. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago? My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. See what we did? Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? I believe this time we've finally come to the end of the trial. Yep, for real this time. Mr. Payne, you have a report for us on Kristoph Gavin. He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? Not that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shadi Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler, a not profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Warning, it doesn't happen. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Kristoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice will be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who will tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? A dark time is coming for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own court system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, it seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds a defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yep, of course that Mr. Wright wanted justice. Court is adjourned. Also, no, I never played the Heavy Area Attorney. I heard of it. God damn, 428! Our first trial in the whole, as a lawyer, took 6 hours and a half. It's like, my God. It's like, I think in comparison, the first trial of the first game took like about an hour and a half. It's like, my God. It's like, this is an absolute wreck of a trial. Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. Yet they couldn't make it 420. 420, boo. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in here. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity that I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness. Oh, that's right, it's a flashback. Let's not talk. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Eh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me, I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? That's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified! You said that locket was yours! I said no such thing, actually. Eh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Oh, speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Yep, and my bosses just got arrested, thanks to me. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Wright and Corporation Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. An incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Even though you basically just did this. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. What? Yeah, forged evidence! What are you talking about? Talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. Yeah, we're talking about that in front of the bailiff. Now they're deaf, it's okay. Just seemed, well, too perfect. Alright, I'll bet it was this forged evidence. Alright, so what was the forged evidence? I'd say this one should be rather obvious. What piece of evidence absolutely should not be into our possession? Yep, it's the bloody ace. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card could not have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place. Lucky for us. Yeah, that was why he was startled about everything, because of course, we were presenting a piece of evidence that absolutely was not allowed to ever exist. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney? Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true! 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Yeah, thanks for punching me in the face. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. So yeah, brand new episode! Okay, it's not gonna start the next case on its own. Okay, perfect. Oh, there's not even like any pictures this time. With that said, I'd say that's one part of the presentation that have been a little flawed. But yeah, that's the first case of Apollo Justice, and yeah, I'd say I ended up like seeing a couple of best of Ace Attorney lists as of late, and for many people, you know, this one actually is pretty damn high in most people's lists. Like, most tutorial cases tend to be pretty superficial, rather easy and everything, but this one case is so full of twists and corners and everything, and it also kind of presents how fucked up the law system into the whole universe kind of is, because you have to think of things this way. In order for this trial to see a happy ending, we actually needed to cheat. Like, if Phoenix Wright did not forge evidence, then what will have happened is either Phoenix will have been found guilty or it will have been Olga Horley. It's like, there was absolutely nothing that could have been done like that was righteous or anything. And this is kind of why I really like this case. Like, it's really fucked up in a lot of ways. Like, you might not think of this immediately the way that you see it, but it's just like, wow, why is everything so fucked up? Like, what happened? And I'd say this is probably, sadly, the most that this case ever explores this facet of things. And I'd say this is kind of a shame, but hey, I'd say this case as a standalone case still is very good. Although there's still some value, I'd say, in order to eventually uncover all of the little plot points that have now been brought onto us with this, with the new character that we have, what happened to Phoenix Wright. And by the way, it should also be noted that if Phoenix Wright is really omnipresent into most of this game, that was not the say of the lead designer of the series. If anything, he didn't even want the character in the game at all, but Capcom made him put him in here. It's like, we need Phoenix Wright, otherwise this game is not gonna sell. So yeah. But yeah, essentially that's the first case of Apollo Justice. There's 3 more to go, and I'd say this one definitely sets the mood well. Now, all that matters is the game ever going to be able to top that? Well, we'll have to see that into another stream.